Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Final Street, Issue 1 from Devil's Due Comics. Written by Scott Schmidt, art by Brian Adkins, colors by Wonko, letters by HDE. Final Street was created by Scott Schmidt and Brian Adkins. Now this is kind of a throwback to the side-scrolling video games of the 80s and 90s. That's what it felt like anyway. They even have little life bars above them during some of the fights, which was kind of neat. And quite honestly, I think if they were going to stick with that theme, they should have done it more, because it really had that like side-scroller feel for a little bit. So we start out with this lady and her friend. I guess it's her boyfriend, Franklin. I think her name is Sully. And they just got done working out, you know, like you do, sparring with your girlfriend. And she, of course, has the SJW strong independent woman hairdo. The sides are like rows. I don't know if they're shaved or if it's like cornrows or something with a mohawk. It's really, really hideous, honestly. And she has a band-aid on her nose, probably from getting punched in the face. Well, they're walking home on the mean streets. They, of course, come across a gang when they're just trying to eat, and they take Franklin after throwing her through a window, and then she has to fight a couple of thugs, but thankfully her, and I'm quoting here, her new bestie, she says, "Meet my bestie, punks." And so her best friend, Kumi, shows up, who's just your token Asian. Pretty uninspiring. We don't really know anything about her. They fight some punks, and they have to go down to the subway where they fight some more punks, and then they jump on a subway train where they ride it to a platform where thankfully they get some help from a guy named Rennie Gade. I'm not even kidding, that's his name. But he's an old-time fighter, apparently. One of the original Street Fighter types. And they fight some more thugs as one of the thugs passes her boyfriend off to a different gang. And they even have like little word balloons where some of the punches are like rushing beat, and it's that like E-Honda slap thing. And they pick up weapons just like in Streets of Rage. You get lead pipes, that sort of thing. For what it is, it actually wasn't bad. It's pretty action-packed. It's a little light on story. It's very straightforward, linear plot. But for what it is, it wasn't too bad, actually. I'm not a huge fan of this indie-style art, but if you're looking for just a mindless action book, this is it. I thought the action scenes actually could have been a little more drawn out with some smaller panels and more in-depth on the fighting, but it is what it is. Was it worth my $4? Not my $4. This really isn't my type of thing. I thought it would actually be a little more plot heavy than this when I picked it up. I don't know really what I was thinking. But if you really like the Street Fighter comics or stuff like that, or you just like old school side scrollers, you might be into this. Like I said, there's not a lot of plot here. The action is a little silly and the dialogue is a little goofy. You've got your punk rock look on a lot of people, but a lot of video game characters in the 80s and 90s had that. It actually kind of fits that theme with the outrageous outfits and hairdos. So will I buy issue 2? Probably not. I'd say it was worth, to me, about $1. So if you see it in the dollar bin, I would pick it up. It's a good fast read. I don't remember any swearing in there, but there probably is a little bit. It's a fairly violent book, obviously. It's an action book. I think it'd be okay for a teenager. I'm not going to recommend it, but I think you'll probably like it if you're into Street Fighter comics. Otherwise, it's not really going to appeal to a superhero crowd or to anybody looking for a story-driven book. But that is my opinion on it, and as always, thanks for listening. Remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing so you don't miss any future episodes. Patreon link should be in the description or on the About page if you'd like to help support the channel. Otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one.